in YouTube world. So I'm on my lunch break, and I've got a little bit of a random rumination. Um, so like I said before, I'm a family law paralegal. So one of my main jobs is to help people file restraining orders. That's domestic violence restraining orders, civil harassment restraining orders. And so I hear a lot of stories, like crazy stories. And a lot of the civil harassment restraining orders has to do with landlord, tenants, business owners, squatters, just different things like that. And I get a lot of neighbor disputes, so much that it's like, oh my gosh, you kind of fear even having a neighbor because they can get really intense. Now, me, I live in a fourplex, and the extent of my interaction with my neighbors is basically good morning and good evening, if that. But a lot of the people that I help, they have these extreme instances where a neighbor is harassing them, and they will do things like use their aggressive dog to harass the person. They'll film them. This, everybody always has their phones out, so they're continuously filming the person doing whatever. They will do things like take their mail. They will have their music playing super loud, so loud that the other person is, it creates a nuisance, so that the neighbor is just, disturbed, and just doing things to their car, blocking the other person's driveway or parking space. Or using their friends to harass. I mean, I get a lot, and sometimes it does get physical. Somebody will, again, like I say, use their dog, and the dog will bite the other person. They'll, weapons. Or there was an instance where this lady said that the neighbor would continuously pound on her door, making, if you're living right above somebody, they're going to constantly be banging on the ceiling, just causing a nuisance. And it's to the point where, they can't enter or exit their apartment without running into the neighbor and getting into stuff. And then here in LA, we have a lot of houses that have back houses, so there might be multiple multiple units on the property, and so you have people who live at the same address. Or in LA, we use, like, if the address is like 2322, the unit next door will be 2322 and a half. Well, that that person that's their neighbor. They're in close proximity, and they are getting harassed, and then they'll file restraining orders against each other. And I just thank my lucky stars that I'm pretty cool with my neighbors, and I've never had an issue with my landlord, and because think about it. This is your home. This is where you go to get away from the craziness. And the fact that you would have to go home to craziness, you don't know what this person's going to do. You're in fear. You can't relax because this person is making it impossible for you to relax. And then you call the police, and a lot of times there's not much the police do. Every now and then, it's very rare that they actually issue a protective order. Usually that doesn't happen. They just tell you to go to go file a restraining order, or get help to file a restraining order. So I'm curious if there's anyone who's ever had any issues, with someone on a civil basis. That means not a family member, someone who is landlord or a tenant or a neighbor or just anybody, because you don't have to necessarily know the person in order for them to be harassing you. But it's just crazy how, you know, at any moment you could be just living your life and you have a bit of an interaction with someone and that triggers harassment. This person won't let it go, or they want you to suffer, so they yell at you, they threaten you, and next thing you know, you're having to take time out of your day, spend money, a lot of times you don't have, to file a restraining order. And a lot of times it's the last thing a person wants to do. But that's a lot of the work that I do. And it's hard to try to stay safe because, like I said, it's a person, once they have it in their mind that they want to harass you, they're going to harass you. And you call the police, and a lot of times nothing really happens. But the restraining order is usually the paper trail. It's to start the paper trail, is to at least put into the system that this person has been harassing you, so that in the event they keep harassing you, you can call the police. Police see that there's a restraining order in place. They are more likely to be arrested. But in the meantime, it's got to be extremely stressful. People are so anxious. They are so full of anxiety, when they come in. And, I feel I have to be that person who really lets them know, hey, I'm here to help, because I tell them I need to get this story. I know it's hard for you to relive this, but I need to get the story out of you in detail so that you have the best chances of having, your order granted. Civil harassment, the burden is high. I'll know it's a lot higher than domestic violence and elder abuse. So you really have to prove that this person is harassing you, causing you distress, that they've harmed you, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that is hard. You have to be detailed. And for a lot of people, it's really hard for them to express that. Because again, they are reliving the harassment. So that's just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. And have you had any issues like that? And how did you handle it? And did you end up having to file a restraining order? What was the outcome of it? All right, well, hope everyone is having a great day, and we'll talk soon. All right.